Ooh, let's see. All right. You know what it is. Welcome to Guarantee News. We're going to do this like how we regularly do. So I'm not going to get to the announcements right off the bat. We're going to play a couple songs and then we're going to get to it.
Tired telling niggas the same thing over and over. And my bitch 3 times, but niggas don't fucking listen, man. Bitch can't even fuck. Use your head for you motherfucking losers, man. Cream team, STL game, man. You know how we rock it, man. Boy, you smoking on that same shit that got Chris Rock. Drink cocaine with a drum, this bitch sound like Kid Rock. Bet these niggas go and copy this, them niggas Xerox. I could move, we still on his ass, we got him gridlocked. One bitch, I ain't picky. Fuck me till I'm dizzy. My bitch catch another op, she gon' get some new Rickies. R.I.P. my young boy, that shit still got me pissy. My nephew won't even play my ops, he said it sound too kitty. Bitch want me to fuck with her, but she be acting dizzy. He thought it was clean, I'm still serving, cut no kizzy. Full of looking clean as hell, can't forget that blicky. Chop it shoot like Jimmy, I ain't even had no simi. Every beat shit automatic, supercharged like Hemi. Told my little bitch walkie only, she can keep that Henny. Virgo, he got Trump money, gave myself a stimmy. Told my bitch don't want hibachi, she can keep the bennies. Get them chopped like sushi rolls, play them hoes like movie roles. That boy, he got baby money, bankroll like a 2-year-old. This bitch know she fine as hell, came through built like Ruby Rose. 100K times 10, nigga, I'm gon' need a few of those. Partner red, it look like a bottle of some hot sauce. All these sticks, thought that we was finna go to Top Golf. Treat him like a thought shirt, get that nigga cropped off. He said he gon' touch me, see how ain't shit popped off. LOL, ha, I know folks don't like me. Pussing off these pussy niggas really do excite me. Shawty know I'm rude as hell, but somehow she still like me. She know I ain't pussy and ain't a nigga like me.
All right, we do 2 songs usually. This is usually the second song I do, but I'm gonna try something a little different. I'm gonna try to play a SoundCloud rapper, who by this point you probably all know this song, but I'm playing it because it's something different, and because it's a SoundCloud rapper, I'm hoping it won't stop the stream. Actually, before I play this, bear with me. Let me get my phone out because it'll email me if the stream stops, and then I don't know. I fucked up. Hold on. Let's see. All right, last song. And then we're going to get right to the show. I may play one other thing too, because there's like some lately I guess I'm finding creative ways that I can play music on the stream, because I'm going to have to do that because I want to, but yeah, if the stream stops, sorry. Yeah.
The way that I'm driving this race, they about to put me on suicide watch. Can't choose what color I'm feeling today. Thank God it's a 2-tone watch. He don't like what I'm doing, he probably a say it, but he'll never do somebody. My big brother like Marshawn Lynch, he'll run through somebody. She done caught me on a bad day. Hoe so perfect, it ruined my headspace. The driver goes straight to the staircase. How could I ever be late to the airplane? These Japanese garments is handmade. Whole body covered in shit that I can't say. I take the bitch to the fast lane. I cannot help it feel something like Batman. But he could go ahead and crash out. Soon as he find me, let's see how it pan out. This challenge is tearing up asphalt. Pops on the track, so I'm rapping my ass off. That bitch, so he telling some airsoft. He don't do none but act tough for them cameras. I probably could share what I care about. I'm just afraid that you won't understand it. Me and Soprano attendants are studying in public. But the flight's surprise. Pit up to mid about every last time I drive. Should cover my license plate. Yeah, I make the whole trap jump right now like a motherfucking parlay hit. Yeah, I'm losing my head, but I'm holding it down. You shouldn't get started with me. The way that I'm driving this race, they about to put me on suicide watch. Can't choose what color I'm feeling today. Thank God it's a 2-tone watch. He don't like what I'm doing, he probably a say it, but he'll never do somebody. My big brother like Marshawn Lynch, he'll run through somebody.
Hold on. All right. Let me see. Just because I feel like I do want to play one last thing, bear with me. This is going to be the last thing I play. I know this won't get stopped. This is just a mix of a new song from, actually, I mean, shit, I could play it. Don't want to play it. Yeah, Do I want to play it? Yeah, fuck it, I'll play it. This is a mix from Indianapolis indie DJ Ferris Bueller. I'm playing this because this motherfucker hard as hell. He mixed, and this is, I guess, where I'll start the show off too. He mixed that new. Let's just see. Let's see what it is. Hold on before I show too much because I don't want to show too much. He mixed that new. I want to make sure I say this right. He mixed that new million dollar baby, Tommy Richmond, that came out on Friday that you've been seeing on TikTok with everybody, with November 18th. It's only a quick 37 seconds. It's a beautiful 37 seconds. Shout out to him. This mix is great. And I think I'll start my shit with this too, so pause. Yeah, that motherfucker hard as hell. I'm happy I started with that. Shout out to Ferris Bueller. He's a DJ here in Indy. If you've probably been to one of his events if you're watching this. All right, my name is Garrett Sims. This is Guaranteed News on April 29th, 2024. And today we are going to have the regular show as usual. You know I don't like big intros. I haven't been streaming as much as I should have since I was streaming kind of in March, I think it was, because I've been stressed. As simple as that. But I'm trying to get back into it always. I'm trying to just stay consistent. Whether I'm stressed or not stressed, the goal is to consistently do what I know that I'm supposed to do. And part of that is streaming. Another announcement. If you are looking at my eyes, sorry about how crazy my eyes look. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. If you know that, my allergies this time of year are absolutely terrible. One day it's hot as hell. One day it's cold as hell. One day it's hot and humid. One day it's rainy and wet outside. One day then it's wet but still humid, and it fucks with my allergies bad as hell. And this is, I don't want to get into it too much, but my allergies, anyone that knows me knows my allergies are trash. But my whole life, one thing about having allergies and shit is you just know about it good. You know how to describe it. You know how to, you're damn near a doctor type shit from, your life history, your own personal experience. And my allergies have always been congestion, just runny nose, having to blow my nose a lot. Anybody who knows me knows I always had to blow my nose. Now, the last 2 years of my life, it's affected my eyes, bro. And my eyes get red and just irritated and fucked up. And right now my eyes just, yeah, I'm trying to get that together. Or I need the weather to just stay the same and be summer for, get summer for real so my allergies will stop fucking up. But anyways, that has nothing to do with the show I'm doing today. I just wanted to say that because if you're wondering why the fuck are Garrett's eyes so red, it is because my allergies are fucked up. No cap. No rap cap. Nothing better than a nice ginger ale. But yeah, those are enough of the announcements. So let's get to the show. It is Guaranteed News. I'm going to take this off mute so you guys can hear it. It is Guaranteed News. I'm your host, of course, Garrett Sims, on April 29th, 2024. If you haven't seen Guaranteed News before, I like to cover 4 topics: sports news, movie and show news, what I like to call hard news, pause, which is basically just real news on what's going on in the world or the country, or just anything that I think is interesting, and entertainment news, which is basically just any bullshit that I decide I want to talk about. So I have a little bit of everything this week, but I'm going to start off in the first story of the show with the playoffs. So the NBA playoffs is on its way now. Most games are one series just ended last night, and most games are on game 3, 4, something along those lines. So right now it's 8-11. Celtics are at the Heat, right? I have it on my TV right now. Celtics are at the Heat. The Heat Boston has a 2-1 lead. Before I say anything else, I do want to make it clear. I feel like anybody watching this knows NFL is my thing. I had Garrett's football show. I thought it was great. Very good analysis on there. NBA is different. I don't watch as much. So not everything I say here is facts, and I could be wrong. Let me make that clear now. So I'm going to give my predictions to all of the series, and we'll take a look at the series that's already done. Celtics versus Heat. This is 2-1. I haven't been watching this game at all. I have the Celtics winning this game, which is easy to say with a 39-24 lead. But, like, Jimmy Butler's out. I don't know how the Heat won game 2 with, like, whoever. I think they had somebody else out, and they hit hella threes. I think that was a good game. But I got the Celtics winning in, let's see. I have a 3. I have the Celtics winning in 5, honestly. I don't think they're going to win. I don't think the Heat are going to win another game. Thunder at Pelicans. I have the Thunder getting the sweep tonight. But if they don't get the sweep, it's going to be the gentleman's sweep. Nuggets at Lakers. I have the Nuggets winning tonight in the gentleman's sweep. Shout out to LeBron for not getting swept. With this series, first thing I want to say is it is sad with LeBron getting pretty much gentleman's swept, Curry not making the playoffs, and KD getting swept all in the same year. And it's really, and then what Ant did to KD, like the Nuggets, just how they always fuck on the Lakers bad. Excuse my language. How they always just do the Lakers terrible. Like, it's like the older people are really going out all at the same time, and the young people are really stamping their way in. Like, it's almost like a perfect transition. Like, it's sad to see, but it's awesome to see because teams like the Thunder, entertaining as shit, young as hell. Nuggets, I mean, they're like medium aged, I feel like. Again, I don't know NBA, so I could be wrong, but they're like medium aged, but still entertaining. Timberwolves, I was about to say Ants, that's crazy. Timberwolves, young as hell, like good team. Not young all the way, but like they're, I guess I'd say medium age. So that's what I'd say for these. Bucks versus Pacers. Pacers won 126-113. I went to this game, covered it for work. This game was absolutely amazing. Miles Turner went insane. 7 for 9 from the three-point, I think. Let's see. 7 for 9 from three-pointer. Halliburton hit like 5 threes, scored 25 points. It's the most points that he scored in the series so far. Right here, if you can see this. Let me move this. Let me move this a little bit. If you can see this. Let me move my camera a little bit. Bear with me. If you can see this. They combined for 53 points. Halliburton and, let's see. Why is my shit fucking up? Halliburton and, Turner. I'm tweaking. Halliburton, well, up here probably. Sign in the chat. Halliburton and Turner combined for 53 points. It was a great game. Great game. Pacers seem to have control. I mean, for the whole second half. I won't say for the entire game. Highlights of this game. Turner's crazy performance game, the crazy ass dunk that he had on Brook Lopez, which is dunk of the playoffs in my opinion so far. The Bobby Portis fight, I do want to show that low key. The Bobby Portis was ejected for mushing the shit out of Andrew Nembhard's face. Let's see. Let me show the video first. When I first saw this, come on now, cuz ejaculated from the game is nuts. Did they show the whole thing, though, here before I show this out? And I'm looking on Twitter now so you can see what I'm talking about. Just don't think. Can I see? And when this happened, they were going crazy on his dumb ass. Ejection. Do I have to? Come on, bro. That's lame as hell. I just want to see the Bobby Portis ejection play. I just want to see the play. Like, is it on X? This long ass 3-minute video, bro. But I just want to show this because this shit was kind of hilarious. Bobby Portis basically mushed the shit out of Andrew Nembhard, and the visitors like kind of near the basket after a play, and he got ejected for it. When you first see it, it looks like he cracked his ass. Like when I first saw it in the room, I was like, damn, he punched the shit out of that nigga. Then when you see it up closer a little bit, you're like, okay, he really just mushed the shit out of his face, which is still very disrespectful, but not as bad. Let's see if they can give me the replay of this, but like the good replay. Move this a little bit. Show it, nigga. Show the replay. They're tripping. Alright, we're angry. Yeah, we're seeing what's going on. He's going to get ejected. Show me what happened. Thank you. Look at that. Look at that. There, mush it. That looked like a, because he goes like this, but it's open hand. If you look, let's see if they go a little closer. They went closer, because I was at the game. They went closer in like the big screen. What that nigga did? Gray screen. What the fuck? Are they gonna show it again? Let's see. He's like mushing him, and he kind of tosses him. Yeah, that's weak as hell. I should have had the video ready. My bad, y'all. But yeah, he definitely mushed the shit out of his face. It definitely warranted an ejection. They went crazy on his dumbass in Gainbridge, and I think that made it a lot better, a lot easier for us to win the game. So that's exciting. What else do I want to say with this game? Gainbridge was absolutely amazing, loud as hell. Sometimes it hurts your ears. That playoff experience was just amazing. In in a professional game. I think one thing I was like, when I went to that game, because that's the first NBA game I've been to in like years. No cap. For some weird reason, as much as I like professional sports, I don't make it a thing to go and watch professional sports. And I went to that game, and I was thinking, because I went to a Colts game a couple years ago, because I'm so much of a football fan, and I always like to compare things it's probably not good to do naturally, but that's another conversation. But I was like, what do I think is going to be more entertaining? The NBA game, or the NFL game? And I went to a regular NFL game, and I didn't regular season, and I didn't realize how much different, of course, a playoff game would be. But all that yapping to basically say, like, between an NFL game, which was regular season, that I went to, and that like playoff NBA atmosphere, the NBA, it was way better. But I also liked watching because you feel more close to the game, which is obvious because basketball is basketball and football is football. Like, if you even just think about watching those games at any level, a high school game, college game, you're going to feel it's going to be closer. You're going to watch the game more from a basketball game. So that was one thing that I thought was cool. The vibe was just, it was better. And then the vibe was better just from I liked Gainbridge Stadium. I liked the way it was set up. I liked kind of just everything about it. Like the sitting situation, the fans, I really enjoyed it. And then Lucas Oil, and then, well, no, we got to get to that first. And then, just the playoff atmosphere was insane, and the Pacers were dogging, and they were playing good as hell. It was just amazing. And it was a crazy atmosphere experience. Shout out to the Pacers. Shout out to Indianapolis. That was some shit right there where I was proud to be from Indianapolis, to see the Pacers whoop the fucking Bucks in the playoffs at home in my hometown. That was awesome. So yeah, so the Colts game is going to be hard for it to compare to that, but for other reasons, I feel like I did like that NBA game in person more, so that was surprising to me. I do plan to go to a lot more NFL games and NBA games in coming seasons, and B, I do want to go to Indians games a lot just to get that baseball feel, because I do think baseball games are awesome. So, and I got the Pacers. This is a long-ass talk for me to basically just say I think the Pacers are going to win this series in 5. So tomorrow on Tuesday, I think they're going to win in Milwaukee. Knicks at Sixers, I got Knicks winning. Clippers at Mavericks, I got Mavericks winning. They almost came back. The Mavericks almost did and won that game. I got the Mavericks winning. Timberwolves swept the Suns. I mean, Anthony Edwards is honestly 40 points. He's been dogging all series. This is kind of insane. KD saying this happened to him, get swept like this is damn near sad to see. I've grown up with KD, and seeing this shit, it's just not fun to see. Not fun to see. All right. Let me see. What do I want to talk about next? Let me see. NFL draft. All right. So the 2024 NFL draft. Everybody knows it happened. I'm not going to talk about this for a long time. There's only three things I want to talk about with this. Caleb Williams went first in the draft. Everybody knew this was going to happen. The main thing I want to say about this is, and why I talk about it, I want to see if I can pull up the video. Can someone tell me, whenever I post these clips, whenever I do anything, can someone tell me in a draft, have they ever seen a draft pick walk up and dap the commissioner, I can't think of his name, the way that nigga Caleb Williams dapped him up on that draft night? And not only did he dap him up and this nigga was screaming, not only did he dap him up and was he going crazy as he walked to the shit to he got his name called in the draft, not only was he going crazy, the commissioner dapped up with him, bro. He was he was just, I was like, yeah. The Bears have not been able to get a franchise quarterback my entire life, and they just got one. They're not going to let that nigga fail. There's absolutely no way Caleb Williams is going to fail. Let me see if they're going to show it. Like, I want to show how this nigga dapped up with them. Because sometimes I'd be like, bro. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. I got it. Look how he daps up with bro. Hold on, let me pull it up. Look how he daps up with bro. Hold on. Or nah. My bad, y'all. I'm tweaking. Look how he daps up with my bro.
In Caleb Williams, you see a guy here who can improvise, create. Think about Caleb Williams now in this division. Jordan Love.
Come on now, cuz.
Create. See some Mahomes.
Come on now, cuz. He's screaming right in the commissioner's ear.
In Caleb Williams, you see a guy here who can improvise, create. Think about Caleb Williams now in this division. Jordan Love.
He said, I'm proud of you. I can't see what he said after that, but I'm proud of you. Whatever adjective he used, I'm proud of you, dog. I'm proud of you, young man. You see how this thing is screaming and yelling, walking up there? You see that? That's a dap of two people who have talked about making a lot of money together, in my humble opinion. And while the Bears have been ass my entire life, I'm 24 years old, I've never seen the Bears be good. Mitchell Trubisky, I don't know, all those trash-ass Bears quarterbacks. No disrespect to them, though, because they're NFL players, and I know they're good, and I have a lot of respect for NFL players. But no matter what I think about the Bears organization, I know that they're not going to let Caleb Williams fail. And when I say they, I mean the NFL. And just so I can get his name, NFL commissioner name. What is his name? I want to know his name. Roger Goodell. The way that Caleb Williams shook up with Roger Goodell when he walked across that stage tells me that Caleb Williams is going to get a lot of calls in his favor. Probably the Bears are going to win some games. They're not going to get to the playoffs because that division with the Lions and the Packers are really good. But just remember that the Bears aren't going to want Caleb Williams to fail, and they're going to do everything they can to make him do good. But so is the NFL. So that's what I got to do. That's what I got out of the first pick by watching that. I could be reading into that 100% too wrong, and that could mean nothing. And that's just an excited person and a happy commissioner seeing one of the greatest prospects that the league has seen coming into his league, and its excitement. So it could be all that, but that's just my little take on it. And then the Bears also got somebody else. This nigga can't even pronounce. No, not him. I can't think of who it is, but it's him. This wide receiver that people are saying is actually really good. So people say the Bears did a really good draft. Next thing I want to talk about with the draft is at the 8th pick, Michael Penix Jr. to the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, you've probably heard every morning ESPN and Fox Sports shows say this, but that was an absolutely idiotic pick. I mean, so basically you just paid Kirk Cousins. Like $100 million guarantee. Falcons Kirk Cousins contract. You just paid Kirk Cousins $108 million after 6 years and 3 bowl appearances. With Minnesota Vikings, Cousins signed with the Falcons on a massive 4-year, $180 million contract with $100 million guaranteed, and he turns 36 in August. Now, him turning 36 can be a reason for why I'm right and wrong. I'll get to that. And this is Forbes.com. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a journalist. Where I get my information from matters. So this is a Forbes.com article talking about his contract, so I feel like we can trust it. So the Atlanta Falcons just paid that much money for the next 4 years on their contract. And then in the draft, with their first pick, they got Michael Penix, who is 23 years old, has multiple knee surgeries that he's had. Got like a redshirt season and like a COVID year in college. No disrespect to Michael Penix, and he's an absolute dog, and he's one of the better quarterbacks that was in this draft and one of the more talented, high ceiling ones in my opinion. But just for that team, the Falcons, that had places where they needed like I don't even watch the Falcons, but I'm a Kirkio Cousins fan, so I've been looking to the Falcons a little bit more. Like niggas was saying they needed to work on their defense, and their pass rushing was terrible. Like just wide receivers. Like I know the Falcons already have a good ass wide receiver. I can't think of his name right now, but there's so many places they could have gotten better, and what they did was decided to draft a 23-year-old rookie quarterback that, I mean, I don't, depending on how you want to look at best worst case scenario, worst case scenario, but like if Kirk Cousins is good, which is what I'm guessing the Falcons want, they paid $180 million. If Kirk Cousins is good, Michael Penix isn't going to play until he's what, for 2 more years at least, 3 more years, 26 years old in the NFL. You're starting as a 26-year-old. I mean, like let's look at like Patrick Mahomes' age. Patrick Mahomes is 28. He's been in the league for like 4 or 5 years, multiple Super Bowls. Let's think of C.J. Stroud, rookie, best rookie, 22 years old. He just had his rookie year. I just think 26 or 23 drafting a quarterback. I mean, I guess really though, because actually I may be wrong on live. Michael Penix, because this is what everyone's saying, and he is old. I mean, he's 23 years old. Because this is what the other conversation, because let me see what I really think on live. The other conversation is this is for the future. This is for the future of the Falcons. If maybe Kirk Cousins get hurt, Michael Penix can come in. Michael Penix can also learn under Kirk Cousins. And I guess CJ Stroud just had his rookie year at 22. All things considered, it'd be 2 to 3 years before he'd have his first time on, best case scenario. So he would be 26 actually. Patrick Mahomes is 28. He's been in for like 4 or 5 years, 6 years, won multiple Super Bowls. That it's a medium. Like now that I'm sitting here talking through this out for the first time out loud, I can kind of get where the Falcons general manager might have been going with this, but I just don't think it was a good idea. Terry Fontenot, I don't think it's a good idea, and I've seen like videos of him talking about it, and it sounds like he wasn't that prepared. I could say I see where he's coming from because of the talent of Michael Penix and because of the age of Kirk Cousins. And with that age, and you always want to have a backup quarterback. But at the same time, bro, I wouldn't have done it, but I see why he did it, because at that age, you want to always have a backup quarterback because Kirk Cousins is old, but you paid him too much money to then go and waste money on another quarterback. Like I do see what he was doing there, but overall, I think it was a bad idea, and I do think he'll get fired. Especially if this doesn't work out. And I will take that back. I don't think he'll get fired. But I think that's going to look really bad, and there's going to be a lot of heat on him for the beginning of the season, and people are going to be looking at the Falcons for reasons they don't need to. But I won't say he'll get fired, and I won't say that was a terrible idea, but I just don't agree with it. And I think that there's a lot better that he could have done with that draft. Let me see if there's anybody else that I want to talk about with the draft. Only other thing I want to say with the draft is I heard the Steelers got an A+ rating and the Colts got an A rating. The Colts got, I guess, a really good defender in the draft. And that's all, that's all I want to say about the draft. All right. Next story in sports that I want to get to is the conversation. So this is a WNBA conversation, and it's also kind of it's Angel Reese, so it's everything that's going on with Angel Reese and her press conference when she first got to the Chicago Sky. And basically, so yeah. And let me mute this actually. Let me see if I got it on Twitter. And I'm going to make my screen bigger here. Wait up. Bear with me one moment. All right, there we go. So basically, I want to just talk with something that's been going on with Angel Reese. And it was basically for her press conference. I think it was her first time meeting with the Chicago Sky media team. And they basically brought nobody in. It was nobody there, basically. And it was an uproar on social media about how they basically did a terrible job. They didn't bring anybody in. And a little bit more with that I'll get to, but here it is. And I'm going to show it twice. So that's basically what people are mad about. This is Angel Reese. Her jersey is already sold out. She's one of the best WNBA college women's basketball players in the last couple of years. She's been won the championship 2 years ago with LSU against Caitlin Clark. Everyone knows who Caitlin Clark is. Made it to like the semifinals this year, or like the Elite Eight. It's Angel Reese, and when you have her, you draft her, I think like 8th pick in the WNBA draft, generational player, and to her press conference, you have this many media people. You have this set backdrop as a setup, and it's basically looks like this was planned in like 30 minutes. And because of that, that has sparked a conversation on basically like the treatment of Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, and it's kind of been, I mean, it's kind of been brought into like a race thing as well. With like if Angel Reese was white, she wouldn't get, if Angel Reese was white, she would be getting more attention. She would be getting a better welcoming, and she wouldn't be getting treated like this. And they're comparing it to Caitlin Clark and what the Fever did for her. She got drafted to the Fever. The Fever basically put out all the stops and did an excellent job. And with this specific situation, the whole thing with all of these conversations, and I'm going to get to the specifics of Angel Reese. I guess I'll say this. Angel Reese, I think this is less like a thing of like if Angel Reese was white, and more that the Chicago Sky just dropped the ball as an organization on drafting a player. I'd be curious to see is what they did for Cardoso. I'd be curious to see what they did for all of the Chicago, like their draft picks for the last couple of years. Like if they gave them mediocre openings with the media. And then on top of that, well no, let me just start with that. That's number one. I feel like this is on the organization, and they just dropped the ball with one of these amazing players. To go on that point even more, the Minnesota Lynx had like a native player, like, let me see. Minnesota Lynx draft pick welcome 2024. The Minnesota Lynx, like, who did they draft? First on Elisa, is it Elisa Pili? Let me see. I can't find it right now, but basically who the Minnesota Lynx drafted, like a Native American player. I can't think of her name at the moment, but they basically gave her a beautiful welcome, put all the stops out for her, like the local like native people in Minnesota, they had come and welcomed her. Like it was beautiful. And all it goes to show is that like if you're a professional organization with a good PR team that cares, you can set something up. Now, so that's A. B, let me speak about the conversation on how much attention Caitlin Clark is getting versus how much attention like players like Angel Reese are getting, but also like Cameron Bink, this Minnesota player, like Cameron Bink that got drafted to, I can't think right now, but she was like went to Stanford. She was the second pick in the draft, absolute dog. Cardoso, like with all the other players are getting, like the conversation on like, what was that loud ass thing? The conversation on like black players and versus white players and black players getting less attention for doing more work. I agree with that 100 times out of 100, but with Caitlin Clark, it's just, she's a different type of beast. And I just, in my head, would make the argument that if Caitlin Clark herself was black, orange, white, I hate saying this on camera, but no matter the color, she'd be getting this attention because she's a generational player. And this is something that like I question a lot with this specific conversation with Caitlin Clark on like why is she getting this much attention and Angel Reese is not. Like Angel Reese is a dog. She's gonna be great, and I love watching her play and what she's gonna provide for the NBA and what she provided for college basketball. And I think the Chicago Sky should have done better bringing her in, no question about it. You pull the stops out for her, but as far like for that specific point of her going to that game or of the media team bringing her out and being introduced to her, but with all the attention as far as like bro like game tickets, like eyes. The Fever games, all of the Fever games being put on national television, bro. That's going to happen with a generation or star, like no matter what. Caitlin Clark just happens to be a white girl from Des Moines, Iowa, but she is a dog, bro. And one thing about life, no matter it's sports, no matter it's school, no matter it's fighting, no matter it's getting girls, no matter it's getting money, like some people are just naturally good at doing things and they're so good that you just have to respect it, no matter where they come from, no matter if you agree with how they feel about life, no matter you agree with their methods. Sometimes sometimes when people are so good, the only thing you can do is shut the fuck up and respect it. And I think that's what it is for Caitlin Clark. And when you have those people, they're going to get treated differently. They're going to get the Prada drip down Prada outfit on the draft when no one else has done it. It's not because she's white. It's because she's the best women's basketball, the most entertaining women's basketball player that has brought the most eyes to the sport of all time. I won't say she's the best because I can't speak on that. You're gonna get your rookie year, and your team has the draft party, and it's sold out like it's a NBA game when it's just a draft party. You're gonna get all the first. You're going to get that this is the first this team has done this. You're going to get the first time Nike has done a 20-minute. You're going to get the first. So that's the only thing I'll say with that conversation is enjoy greatness and seeing it. When companies, major corporations and places are being racist and fucked up, I love to come and say it. And I feel like as a journalist, that is going to be one of the things that I'm going to be great on, is being a fucking journalist and what I think to be. And I feel like journalists are meant to hold major corporations, major media people, major politicians, major anyone accountable for the things they do and tell the people what they're doing. But in that, I also have to be honest, and I'm not gonna say that like there's like some media conspiracy going on with Caitlin Clark. She's fucking amazing. She's an absolute dog. She reminds me of Stephen Curry, and I don't care what she'd look like. I would be watching her play whenever she plays because she is an absolute monster. And to how the Chicago Sky welcomed in Angel Reese, that is not okay and unacceptable, and I think they should have done better. I'm sure if you ask the PR team, as someone that kind of works in like a media kind of thing and can have some respect for what goes on behind the scenes, it's probably more to it than what we think, but it isn't the best. It's not the best look. So I think it's a lot of things with these situations, but that's kind of just what I wanted to speak on with that. All right, is there anything else with the WNBA or with this that I wanted to talk about? And Fever training camp has begun. Caitlin Clark, any video or any picture of Caitlin Clark during training camp is amazing. Fever training camp 2024. Any video that I can see, any pictures of this I can see. Look at that. Look at that. That just looks amazing. Look at that. Caitlin Clark, bro. In the Fever, bro. In the Indiana Fever gear. I am so excited, bro, to watch the Fever play. Look at those dogs. Look at those beasts. They're ready to make history. Shout out Leah Boston. Shout out Caitlin Clark. Shout out Lynn Dunn. I'm so sorry I pronounced it. Shout out Lynn Dunn. Shout out Indy. Shout out Fever. Training camp started. I think preseason starts on like May 3rd. And I think, when does the season start? WNBA season 2024 begin. May 14th. Regular season begins on May 14th. Let me move the camera. Regular season begins on May 14th. And Fever and training camp. And this is going to be exciting. Anything else in sports? That is all I have in sports. Bear with me 1 second. I'm about to do this real quick. My fucking back is killing me. Oh, shit. Oh, I gotta sit up straight, bro. My back absolutely was killing me, bro. My bad. Where are we at right now? 8:40, bro. I want it to be done by 9. That's probably not gonna happen. No cap. That's probably not gonna happen. So we talked about sports. We're at 39 minutes. I'm gonna try to move fast. Well, let me get into news. Let me get into my news stories. So sports and news are the two main things I'm talking about today anyway, so I feel like after I get over these, I'll be kind of quick. So for the first story that I want to do, college protest. So in the past week, there have been like hella protests going on In colleges around the country, including Indiana University, where I went to school and got my journalism degree. Shout out to IU, shout out to Hoosiers. Ohio State University, like Big Ten schools all across the country, and they are pro-Palestinian protest, and it has been just hella shit that has been going on with that. And kind of what I want to do is I just kind of want to explain the situation and bring a light onto it and kind of give a little bit of my opinion, because I think this is something that's important. I think how journalists are covering this is interesting to me. I think how student journalists are covering this is very interesting to me, as someone who was a student journalist and as someone who's still a journalist today, a written journalist and like a visual journalist, as I would like to call myself doing here today. This is just something that's interesting to me and something that I feel like I should talk about. So I'm going to start off by going through this with a good article that I feel like describes the problem. And I love articles. I love journalism. This is a Vox article by, if I'm saying this name wrong, I apologize, Ellen Loans and Nicole Naria. And it's called, let me go back to this, What the Backlash to Student Protest Over Gaza is Really About. The Columbia protest and the debate over pro-Palestinian college students explain. Let me kind of try to just, while I look through this, explain this fast. Basically, at Columbia College or at Columbia University, there has been basically, well, let me just see. Protest over the war in Gaza erupted in Columbia University campuses last week and have sparked demonstrations at other universities across the country. The demonstrations appear to be growing in the face of intense crackdowns involving local law enforcement. So basically, let me just get the yapping out of the way, get to the parts I want to get to, and explain this fast first off. Basically, at Columbia colleges, they are wanting their schools to basically disinvest from having relationships and investing money to corporations and to organizations that are aligned with Israel or are pro-Israel and are helping with the Israel government or the Israel military. If you don't know what's going on with Israel and Gaza right now, I don't want to get into it, the long history of Israel and Palestine. It's over land, but basically Hamas attacked Israel, and since then it has been a war going on in Israel, and there has been multiple bombings, multiple things that Israel is doing to Palestine that are, in my opinion, kind of insane. I can't lie. So I don't want to get into the history of it. I think you should look it up, and I think I've kind of talked about it maybe on a Guaranteed News, maybe not, but you should look it up. But basically what these college students are doing are protesting that their colleges should not invest with Israel, not invest in Israel's government and military. And they're basically pro-Palestine, and they're trying to stop this war and saying that Israel should basically stop bombing, stop terrorizing Palestine. That's what these colleges basically feel like. And in response to that, the colleges have basically been cracking down on the protests. Like, these colleges are basically setting up tents on their schools. In Indiana, IU, they're basically setting up like tents, I think like by the IMU or the Memorial Hall. No, it's in Dunn Meadow. In IU, these students are basically setting tents up at Dunn Meadow. But basically what they're protesting about is that they don't want their colleges to be investing in pro-Israel military, pro-Israel the government. And the colleges are then returning and saying, like, bringing the police out to these protests, arresting students, arresting faculty from these colleges, and basically saying that these protests are not allowed, and these protests are they're anti-Semitic, and they're harmful and hurtful to Jewish people. So the colleges are of the point that this anti-Semitism that is being shown by you guys doing pro-Palestine and celebrating Palestine and saying that this rule needs to end, and saying that Israel and the colleges need to do nothing with Israel and all of this, they're saying that this is anti-Semitic, it's not right, and it's harmful to Jewish people. And the students, on the other hand, are saying what's happening in Palestine is fucked up. Israel is bombing them. They're killing innocents without any regard for Hamas and who's not Hamas, and just all of Palestine, and they are trying to use their voice to speak to this. And I think this is a really good article at describing that, and there's just a couple like specific paragraphs that I want to get to. This one, I think right here, is pretty good. Hold on, I think I got it out. Okay. The protests are calling on universities to divest from firms that they contend profit from Israel's war and occupation in Palestine. More than 6 months after the start of the war and the death of toll in Gaza has exceeded 34,000, some groups at universities that conduct military research, like New York University, are also requesting their schools end work contributing weapons development as well. So basically, they're saying that they want their schools to have nothing to do with these companies that are making money from the deaths of people in Palestine. That's what these students are saying. And these protests have become a prominent feature on college campuses since Hamas attacked on, that's what I was saying. They reached a fever pit in December when Harvard, MIT, and University of Pennsylvania gave controversial testimony before Congress about anti-Semitism, both for and hypothetical. I wrote an article about this for the Indianapolis Recorder. Good article. I could be a little biased because I wrote it. But basically, it was 3 college presidents that were sitting in front of the Supreme Court to talk about what anti-Semitism is on their college campuses, what does it look like, and how are they fighting against it. And it was pretty crazy. So that was something that happened. Now these college things are happening, and this Israel war is really just ramping up over in America with so many people, and particularly young people and college students, making sure their voice is heard no matter how they feel, which is why this is something, as a student, a former student journalist, is very interesting to me. So tensions reignited last week after Colombia president Nemet Shafik, I apologize if I said your name wrong, gave congressional testimony that, per the Associated Press, focused on fighting anti-Semitism rather than protecting free speech. So this is the, this is the president. Excuse me, I said at the beginning of the show my allergies are fucked up. This is the president of Colombia saying, we're focused on fighting anti-Semitism rather than protecting free speech. Students erected tents on Colombia's main lawn to show solidarity with Gaza. Then Shafik took the controversial step of calling the police to arrest those involved. When you look at the Harvard situation that I was just talking about 30 seconds ago, where they were at the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court was asking them questions about, hey, what does anti-Semitism look like on your campus and how are you stopping it? Basically, the black Harvard president was basically like, hey, if you're like being violent or you're gonna fuck with someone that's Jewish or say some hateful ass shit, yeah, we're not gonna do that. That's not cool. But if you want to say you're pro-Palestine and you don't think that Israel bombing Palestine, instead of trying to figure out exactly who Hamas, I'm sorry for all my mispronunciations of these words. Let's just get that out of the way. But Hamas, then I kind of lost my train of thought, but I'm going to catch it immediately. Yeah, if you're a student, this is what the Harvard president is saying. She basically said, but if you're a student and you're like, I'm pro-Palestine, then I'm not going to like kick you off. And they fired the Harvard president. And now, a couple months later, Colombia president sees his students protesting, saying that, hey, you're the president of our school and we want you to stop investing in companies that are profiting off this war. And now colleges all over the country, including where I went to school here in Indiana, IU University, their students are following suit. So what does the president of Colombia do? And remember, this started in Colombia. He says, we're going to protect fighting. This is why I highlighted this. Can you see this? Like, because this is kind of, this shit gets me hype. This is the nerd in me, but like fighting anti-Semitism rather than protecting free speech of the students. And the only thing I'll say with this, and I wrote it down because I want to make sure I get my words right with this because this is a sensitive subject, how anti-Semitism is treated in this country and how these college campuses are arresting students for what I would say are peaceful protests. They're putting tents and shit up and just saying like it's peaceful protests. Like there's nothing crazy going on. How the countries and colleges are handling anti-Semitism can tell you a lot about what America cares about. And I'm not saying I support anti-Semitism. I'm not saying anything. I don't want to say anything disrespectful to Jewish people. And I know this is a topic that I could be way more informed on. But I think it is interesting that he's going to say out loud, fighting anti-Semitism is what I'm going to focus on rather than protecting free speech. When I think it's quite easy to do both. You know, free speech is free speech. Anti-Semitism, I would think, I just want to look it up. But I don't want to get some Google definition. Like, to me, anti-Semitism is like, what are you doing are you doing something that's going to put a Jewish person in bodily or physical harm? Are you going up to them and putting your hands on them? Are you yelling and screaming in their facing? A peaceful protest about what's going on in Palestine and the Palestinian war should be free speech, in my opinion. That gets into a whole bunch of other shit, but that's just my humble opinion. I want to keep reading a little bit of this article. This contentious decision wasn't just jarring to Columbia students, particularly because of the university's history, but also outrage among onlookers, both at the site and on social media. University's history, don't know, I can't lie, but they probably have some fried history. Everybody does. So, as illustrated, our universities struggle to uphold their dual commitments to free speech and protecting their students during a fraught political moment when more young people sympathize with the Palestinian cause than with the Israel government. That's very important. The controversy at Columbia and other campuses has illustrated how universities have struggled to uphold their dual commitments to free speech and protecting their students. And that's, again, where you get into where protecting their students, are we protecting these students' physical bodies and their mental health? Because protecting mental health is important. Or are we protecting their comfortabilities? Because it's a very complicated subject, but I think arresting students that are peacefully protesting is very bold, and it definitely is. It's showing a clear statement on what America feels like is what is important and whose free speech is allowed to. You know, these rules of free speech. If you live in America, you know, bro. If you don't live in America, you know, who says something and how you look. You can say different things, and it's going to depend on the reaction that you're going to get from the outside world. And this is happening on a major scale. No disrespect. Not trying to say anything crazy. Not trying to disrespect anyone. But this is some real shit. Last thing I want to say with this is just I'm going to be a little bit biased because it's happening in Bloomington. And I went to Bloomington. I wrote for the Indiana Daily Student. So first I want to say shout out to the Indiana Daily Student. Shout out to all the journalists that wrote this. I know I'm going to say some of your names wrong. I don't even know if these journalists would even see this. So I guess it's not that big of a deal. But I want to give them the respect to say their names right. Jack Forrest. Let's see this right. Jack Forrest, Salome. If you don't read this, Salome, I don't know. Taylor S., Jacob Spudich, Luke Price, Marissa Medor, Jonathan Frey, and Caroline Marshall. If I said their names, I apologize. They basically wrote an article in the Indiana Daily Student. They're giving live updates seen from day 4 of Gazma encampment protest on campus. And basically what happened at IU, from what I know best, is that the IU president basically saw what was happening in Columbia and saw what was happening in other schools and probably knew this was going to trickle down to IU. And like the day before, IU students started building up tents and saying that we're going to have our pro-Palestine movements and we don't want IU to invest in corporations and organizations that are benefiting from this war. So yeah, this is us at IU. We're going to set up tents and we're going to protest with this because we agree with Columbia and we agree with what's going on at the rest of the country and colleges. Beautiful, awesome. And that's one of the great things about colleges, how you can do some shit like that. The president knew that this was going to happen, and then a day before made a rule that basically said that you can't put up tents on campus. So he tried to, get ahead of it. Of course he didn't, and of course students didn't do it. And again, this picture is beautiful. Shout out to Jacob Spudich. He took the picture. It's college police that are on the campus. At IU, I saw a video of on the IMU, a sniper on the roof for these protests. This article basically talks about protesters gather. I'm going to read a little bit around a screening projecting the movie Farah. The movie tells a story about the Nakba, which is Arabic for the catastrophe. The movie retells a story of mass displacement of Palestinians during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. Again, like I said at the beginning, this is a long history. Aidan Kamas, president of the Palestine Solidarity Committee and a leading organizer of the encampment, said the genocide we are witnessing now is a continuation of the Nakba. So this is just a little bit to show how important this is to these students. The article goes back on and just talk more about IU. It gives an hourly by hourly, update of what's going on. So this is great journalism. This is beautiful. This is one of the cool parts about journalism to me, and to go at IU at a time like this is sad because you never want to go at a time like this. But as a journalist, it's probably also insane and probably a little bit surreal. And the last thing I'll say with everything going on, specifically with college campuses, and like I said, like there was a fucking sniper on the IMU for these protests. Like, bro, look at them, bro. They're sitting down, bro. They're chanting. Like, I went to IU, bro. Like, to keep it a buck, playing devil's advocate, at most they're probably very fucking annoying and loud. But I guarantee they are not harming a soul. I guarantee well, okay, I don't want to guarantee that. But I don't think they were harming a soul. I don't think they were yelling in anyone's face. Maybe they were, but I don't think there was like anything of violence to the point where you had to have a sniper. Like, the reaction to this is insane. And I can't help but ask myself, if students were putting up tents to protest for different things, would they get, like, is it, like, what is it about? What is it about with this Harvard president getting fired all those months back? What is it about now with the president of Colombia probably seeing that and saying, we're going to focus more on fighting anti-Semitism than we are on protecting free speech on our campus? And what is it with colleges across the country following this? I'm just asking a question, and I don't want to say what it is because I don't, well, I have my opinion on what it is, but I don't want to say because I could be, but another thing with journalism and being a journalist that is important to me is I feel like even just posing questions to people is important. Why is this happening? All right, that's enough of that story. The next story that I want to get into is, I've been talking for so long. Every time I stream, I talk for so long. I only want to do hour-long streams. Do I want to talk about how Trump is basically in 2 cases right now? Like, he's in 2 cases right now. This is all. I was going to talk about it. Let me see where my notes are. I'm going to talk about it shortly because I don't want to stream for a long-ass time. So, I'm not looking at notes. I'm not looking up articles. I should have put them up, so I'm kind of going off the dome with this. But I've read a lot of articles, so you can trust me a little bit. And if I'm wrong, I'll come back on Wednesday and admit to it. So, basically what's going on right now is Trump is having on 2 trials at, like, one time. One trial is basically like the Stormy Daniels one, like the porn star, basically paying her off and paying off journalists and other news people to keep stories like that and other stories away from the public, so the public wouldn't look at Trump bad before the election. I think it was a 2016 election, if I'm correct. It might have been this past one too, though. That I should fact check that. But basically, for one of the past elections, Trump was basically paying off people to not put out bad information about him, so he didn't look bad before the election. To be 100% honest, it seems what anybody would do. But basically, he's on trial because they're saying that that's illegal. That's what it is. And then there's another trial about, this one's confusing me. It's been confusing me for a minute on, like, because he was because Trump was a former president, how do you try him in court and how is he convicted? How does that process go? I kind of wanted to get into a long way, but like the main point about this with everything is that the coverage of this is interesting. I've been looking at it every single day. They tell what happens, like news sources like CNN, The Hill, Washington Post, MSNBC News, all these places that are just here in the first place. They say what happens day by day in court with Trump, but it's not easy to follow, and I think they make it hard to follow on purpose. And I think as a journalist who's trying to like actively keep up with these things day by day and keep the case, I could also be a fucking idiot with this specifically. Tooting my own horn, I don't think I'm an idiot. I think I'm pretty smart. And I think if I'm having trouble doing something, a lot of people also would. That could be very cocky, and this could be easy for someone. I could be wrong, but it's interesting to me how it's hard for me to keep these 2 cases separate and get a good idea of what's going on after each day in court and how the schedule is. But this is something I'm new to, and I could probably, as I do it more, get easier. But I will say, I do think it should be easier to find out what's going on with these cases as just a regular reader day by day. That's 1. 2. Do not think that anything will come from either one of these, and I don't think Trump will be unable to run for president in November. And I want to come with more facts on this on Wednesday on specifically the case with him like paying off journalists to not put out stories about him so he could basically look better to the public. That's obviously interesting to me as a journalist, but it's also crazy as fuck to me because it's like, I want to know exactly how Trump got caught, because I guarantee every president. I don't guarantee, but I can assume that most presidents, including the presidents that I like and that are on the left-leaning side, have probably done stuff to keep stories out about them. So it's like, this is like, Trump obviously did wrong, but this specific one with that, I'm like questioning, like, if I had sex, let me not say it that way. Naturally, if you do something wrong, I feel like your natural instinct, if you're running for president, is to try to keep people away from it. And most people that I come across in the world aren't that, let's just be honest, like moral or honest of people to say, yeah, I fucked a porn star. And I'm going to let the world know, because I think people should know. Like, I think Trump just tried to do something a lot of people tried to do. And because he's Trump and he does a million things that are outrageous and insane, and everybody, including the Democrats, are looking any way to get him out of here because he's fucking scary. And it looks like he may be fucking president again, even with all the crazy ass shit he says. It honestly looks like Trump may still be president, so they're going to try to do anything they can, Democrats, to make sure he's not president. And I'm not mad at it. Like that's one of those things where it's like war, where it's like both sides, where it's like kind of like, I kind of agree, like I can see where both sides are coming from. It's just about who wins. But another thing, bro, like when you just look at how shit happens in this country, you can tell what America cares about. You can tell, like, let's just be real. And if you just look at just everything, just the scope of the world since 2016 when Trump became president, do you think Trump is going to get indicted for hush money scandal and for a gag order? Or if you think he gets indicted, do you think they're not going to push it down the line to 2-3 years to where we all forget about it, and then we look up one day and there's a CNN article that one's not going to make sense about they reached a settlement and you know what I'm saying? My point is, Trump is that boy. And earlier, this is like brings me back, bro. I'm fucking good at this shit now that I think about it. Like 30 minutes ago, I said to Caitlin Clark, like, some people are so good at things, whether you agree with them, like them, don't like them, whatever, you have to just respect it. Bro, I don't like Trump for a lot of reasons. But damn, bro, as someone that wants to be a businessman, as someone that wants to be a mogul, as someone that wants to be able to walk into a room and, to be honest, say what the fuck I want and be powerful enough and have enough business acumen and have enough respect to where people kind of have to listen to it and respect it. I mean, I feel like I'm like a good person kind of, so like I wouldn't use it the way Trump does. But like, damn, I've never seen someone in my life be so fried but never lose. And I have to respect it. And, you know, he's a white man. So as a black man, I'll never have, like, even if I'm, like, amazing, like, I'll never be able to do that in that specific way. But even a lot of white people don't do it like Trump does it. Like Trump gets all the benefits of being a white man, of course. I don't want to get Trump flowers. This is crazy. I'm about to stop now. But Trump is not an idiot. And he is a good businessman, and he has his throat on fucking America in a way I didn't think would ever happen. I don't even think Republicans fully like Trump, bro. Like, bro, Trump is scary, bro. That's what I'll finish off with that. Trump is impressive and scary, and even super villains are super for a reason. Super villains are fucking smart. Super villains aren't just dumb. They're smart, evil people. And, like, golly, like, bro, good geniuses are great, but bad geniuses are fucking scary, bro. And Trump, bro, I'm not trying to say he's an evil genius or anything like that, because that's probably giving him too much power. But yeah, bro, this nigga got 2 court cases right now. The media is making him hard to understand, and I don't think he's going to get arrested. And he's going to probably be the Republican nominee in November. And I won't say what's going to happen, because polls right now are kind of interesting. At first, I thought Trump would for sure win. Biden may win, but, like, bro, it's hard, bro. Trump is kind of Teflon Don. So let's see, I talked about Palestine colleges, I talked about Trump, talked about Andrew Reese, talked about NFL draft, talked about playoffs, movie show, challengers. We're getting up to, this is the last couple minutes, challengers. Zendaya. That's my dog, bro. Zendaya has officially entered into the don't care what the movie is about. If Zendaya is in it, I'm watching it. That's how I feel about Quentin Tarantino making movies. That's how I feel about, who's the guy that made Oppenheimer? Who's the guy that made Inception? Christopher Nolan movies. That's how I feel about Leonardo DiCaprio movies. Like all those people, there's some people, I don't care if it's a space cowboy movie set in 4590. If Zendaya's in it, I'm watching it because she's fucking awesome. And everything I've heard about this movie sounds like there's a lot of reasons why I maybe wouldn't want to watch it, but I do want to watch it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to go see it at the movies for like cheap $2 Tuesday or whatever it is. And on Wednesday, I will be coming into Guarantee News and giving a full Challengers review because I'm like 99% sure this movie is good. And I'm a fucking movie lover. And every movie today is a superhero movie, a remake, a comic book, a book that's turned into a movie that's fucking corny. As much as I love superhero movies and shit, I can't think of the last time I went to the movie theaters to just see a movie that's just about a cool ass fucking story with good ass actors, and everything I've seen has told me that this is a cool ass story with cool ass fucking actors. So if you haven't seen Challengers, I'm even saying it without even watching it. So if it's ass, I'm gonna look like a dickhead. But without even seeing Challengers, bro, I would say you need to watch it. Do I have anything else with shows? Last thing with shows, bro. I started watching Suits on Netflix, which is really good. It's like a USA Network show that came out like years ago. I don't know why I even put this on my notes, but I just wanted to. Suits on Netflix. If you're looking for a good show to watch, I think you should watch it. It's been on TikTok. My TikTok like For You page basically forced me to watch it, and I tried so hard not to watch it. I don't know why. I guess I was like being hard-headed, and I started it, and like it's perfect. It's perfect. 6 seasons, like 16 episodes a season. 45-minute episodes. You know, if you like shows, what I just said, it spoke to you. You know, I'm always looking for a multiple season show to just watch, bro, to just sit down on a Sunday and watch for 6 hours. And Suits is that for me, I think. So I'm going to have entertainment. You know, when I watch Game of Thrones and caught up to it, it was awesome to do that. When I watched The Sopranos, it was awesome to do that. When I watched Friends, it was awesome to do that. I haven't had a show like that in a long time. Seinfeld's on my list to do that with. I'm yapping right now. Let me stop. But yeah, Suits. Very good show. If you want a show to watch it. And entertainment, The $1 Million Baby song by Tommy Richmond. Really good song. Listen to it. I was going to talk about it more, but that's all I got. It is 9:08. I've been streaming for 1 hour and 7 minutes. I probably should get in the mindset that it's okay to stream for longer than an hour, but I don't want to right now. I'm about to chill. If you watched a second of Guarantee News, thank you. Second minute, full episode. I appreciate it. Please subscribe to GS Studios. I'm going to always try to be consistent, going live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. for the month of May. I'm going to change that up probably in June. But for the month of May, we're going to try to stay consistent 4 weeks, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. You have to subscribe if you're watching. You don't have to like turn on like the notifications for every time I do that, because I do say how that's annoying. If you do that, I know you really fuck with me and I appreciate that. But just subscribe at the very least.